Don't want to see it. Alright, last couple. The Imperial nurse who loved and was obsessed with Darth Vader, Canon. Alright, here comes the speed.
As Darth Vader's shuttle approached the Death Star, the Imperial pilots and stormtroopers prepared to welcome the Sith Lord, desperate to not offend Vader. But among them was someone else, an Imperial nurse who secretly entered the docking bay merely to steal a glimpse of Vader, with no fear whatsoever. Her moment was interrupted by a doctor on the Death Star, whose fear of Vader manifested itself as anger towards the nurse. Furious, she hadn't yet prepared the medical bay prior to Vader's coming surgery. As the nurse quickly gathered supplies for the surgery, she was so overwhelmed with Vader's approach down the hallway towards her that her loss of focus caused her to embarrassingly trip out of the medical supply closet, sending both her and the supplies tumbling to the ground as Vader ignored the entire thing, continuing his journey to the medical bay. But the nurse didn't quite see it that way. From her point of view, she just had a moment of connection with Vader. This interpretation caused the nurse to imagine herself romantically entangled with the Sith Lord, removing his mask to look upon his face long enough to kiss him, interrupted solely by her need to get the supplies to the medical bay. But her daydreaming caused her to interrupt the surgery that had already begun. As the nurse apologized for her intrusion, Vader turned his wrath not on her, but on the doctor, warning him to keep better control of his medical bay or face replacement. Of course, this caused the nurse to again have her own interpretation of the situation. To her, Vader just came to her rescue, punishing the doctor and protecting her. And more, she found Vader too was lonely, and they were brought together by fate. The only rational thing for the nurse to do, of course, was to have another daydream, this time with Vader acting as her protector. As Vader exited the medical bay following his surgery, the nurse set to work cleaning up. This might have been her favorite task. As it becomes clear in the issue, she used these opportunities to secretly add to her hidden and growing collection of what she referred to as little memories, souvenirs of their unspoken love, and secrets that her and Vader shared alone, but which in reality were just bloody pieces of Vader's cybernetics. Not long after, Vader again came to the Death Star, this time crash landing in one of its docking bays and in obvious need of medical assistance. And who does Vader run into as he entered the medical bay? The Imperial nurse. Although Vader clearly asked for the doctor, she saw the situation differently, concluding Vader had sought her out, needing her and her alone. With the doctor still making his way to the medical bay, it's the nurse who prepared Vader for surgery, a major win for her as she actually had the chance to rest her hand against his armor. But as the doctor returned, the nurse was quickly ushered out of the room, awestruck by her dreams having just come true. And this time when Vader left the medical bay, leaving before the doctor had a chance to finish due to Vader's desire to rejoin the battle, the nurse experienced a magical moment, a forgotten cape that quickly turned into a sign of Vader's true love for her within the mind of the nurse. So she smuggled the cape out of the medical bay to her room, removing it to embrace and daydream as if she were dancing with the Sith Lord himself, and of course, serving as a sign they were meant to be together forever. Only her moment comes crashing down as the doctor surprised her, catching the nurse in her room not only dancing with the cape, but also finding her sad collection of garbage. I mean, the souvenirs of their unspoken love. Confiscating both, the nurse is left completely distraught, overcome by the loss of her memories of the Sith Lord, quickly racing to one of the Death Star's garbage compactors to search for her stolen items. But it wasn't meant to be, and the pain of her loss caused the nurse to once again daydream, this time imagining she was the apprentice of Vader, taking her anger out on the doctor for the offense against both of them. Sadly, the nurse doesn't return to her room, but concludes it would be a good idea to go straight to the man she loves. As Vader's meditation chamber opened, allowing the nurse to see Vader's true face for the first time, she attempted to convince the rather unimpressed Sith Lord that he didn't have to be alone, for she was his forever. And as she was about to say that they could be together, Vader interrupted her impassioned confession of love by igniting his lightsaber through her chest, killing her and the chance of any future together. Confirming the apparent relationship was rather one-sided, Vader simply walked past her corpse, communicating with the Death Star's bridge to remove the garbage from his quarters. So there we have it, the lunatic who is obsessed with Darth Vader. We love making these videos, so why not?
Alright. If you liked the video, make sure to leave a like and a comment of what you want to see next.